Quick disclaimer, Learn from Mac is an independent educational project. We are not affiliated with, endorsed by, or sponsored by Apple, or any vendor or product covered in this course. Hey, welcome back to Learn from Mac. I'm Dennis, and today is day 09 of the F5 LTM R4600 Bootcamp. Today, TLS actually terminates at this box. SSL offload first, then bridging, so traffic gets re-encrypted end-to-end for anything compliance actually cares about. Let's get into it. First, the goal. By the end of this lesson, you'll import a real certificate and key, attach a client SSL profile for offload, then extend it to full SSL bridging so traffic is re-encrypted all the way to the pool members. Here's what you need. An LTM licensed R4600, a PM encoded cert and key pair, self-signed is fine for lab, Contoso PKI, or a public CA for production, and an existing virtual server and pool from day 07 or 08 to attach these profiles to. 3 concepts before we import anything. Concept 1, SSL offload, also called termination. BIG-IP terminates the TLS session from the client using a client SSL profile, decrypts it, and forwards plain HTTP to the pool. This removes the TLS burden from your backend servers entirely and lets BIG-IP inspect and manipulate HTTP content, headers, cookies, iRules, before it ever reaches a pool member. Concept 2, the client SSL profile itself. This is what defines the TLS parameters presented to connecting clients: certificate, key, cipher suite, minimum TLS version, SNI behavior. Without this profile attached, the virtual server simply cannot accept HTTPS connections at all. Concept 3, SSL bridging and the server SSL profile that makes it possible. Bridging extends offload, BIG-IP terminates from the client, then opens a brand new TLS session to the pool member using a server SSL profile. Now pool members receive encrypted traffic too, satisfying the end-to-end encryption requirements that PCI DSS HIPAA and Contoso security policy actually demand for sensitive applications. All right, 3 labs. First, we import the cert and key and stand up a client SSL profile for offload. Then we add a server SSL profile and move pool members to 443 for full bridging with a validation pass on the SSL stats. Then we do the certificate upload and profile creation again through the iControl REST API. Let's get into it. Lab 1, import the certificate and private key onto the box. Create the client SSL profile using them with a hardened cipher string and old protocols disabled. Attach it to the virtual server's client side. This is what turns on HTTPS. Lab 2, now bridging, create a server SSL profile for the re-encrypted leg to the pool. Attach it to the server side of the same virtual server. Now both legs of the connection are encrypted. Pool members were on plain HTTP port 80. Move them to 443 for the encrypted reconnection. And validate. Both SSL profiles should show real traffic in their stats, not zeros. Lab 3. Same certificate work through the iControl REST API. Upload the cert file to the staging area first. Install it as a crypto cert object from the uploaded file. Create the client SSL profile via REST, same settings as before, and attach it to the virtual server, confirming via a GET afterward. And that's end-to-end TLS, offload, and bridging both working on this box. There are self-check questions on the lesson page worth sitting with, offload versus bridging especially, since picking the wrong one for a compliance-driven application is a real recurring mistake. Take a minute with those. Quick recap before we go. Offload alone sends plain HTTP to pool members, fine for most apps, not fine for anything requiring end-to-end encryption. A client SSL profile is mandatory for any virtual server accepting HTTPS. No profile, no HTTPS, full stop. Bridging needs both profiles present, client SSL on the client side, server SSL on the server side, and pool members need to actually be listening on the encrypted port. And never ship the default self-signed certificate to production. No client will trust it, and browsers will warn on every single visit. All right, that's day 09 in the books. Real certificate imported, offload live, bridging configured end-to-end. That's TLS actually handled correctly now, not just assumed. If this was useful, hit subscribe. You won't miss a single lesson. Next up is day 10, persistence, cookie, and source IP. See you there.